Jeff Bajorek is back today for another installment of greatness, and this really is. Here it is.
Give them something to talk about. Now, I apologize if you're of a certain vintage and now you have a Bonnie Raitt song stuck in your head for the rest of the day. I don't have a tip for you to get that out of your head, but I do have a tip for you for follow-up. Now, I think follow-up and prospecting are very closely related, and I think the things that got you that first conversation will also be the things and the concepts that will get you that next conversation when you're in that holding pattern. But I don't like to just check in. I don't like to touch base. I don't like to circle back. And if you can eliminate those words and those phrases from your vocabulary, you're going to do a lot better than those who refuse to. But how do you come up with things to talk about? How do you give them ideas? How do you recreate and rekindle some of those conversations that will let them know that you're still around, even though there really isn't anything that either one of you can do because the committee meeting is in a couple of weeks, or you're waiting on another decision maker and you just don't quite have access to them. So one of my favorite concepts is this idea of, I saw this and I thought of you. You're reading, you're scrolling through your feeds, you're finding some blog articles, you're listening to podcasts, maybe you saw a really good movie and it reminded you of something that you and your prospect had talked about. So you flip them a little message. Maybe it's a text, maybe it's an email, maybe you link to that podcast episode and, hey, I listened to this. It made me think about the problem that we're working on together and I thought you might appreciate this. I'm looking forward to talking to you again, right? They're getting the value out of the message, even if they aren't available to talk to you, even if you don't make that personal exchange. You can take it a step further and you can look for those things, which is what I think a lot of you are doing, or you can take another step forward and you can put that thing in front of them. I'm a reader, right? I like to read books. I like to listen to a lot of books. I actually like books more than I like podcasts. I think the ideas are a little more thought out, but I digress. That's a tip for another day. I will buy my prospect the book that I'm about to read. I will send it to them. And then I've just given myself, 20 chapters worth of things to talk about? I read a lot of the same things that my clients and my prospects read, so that's not a stretch for me. Whether that's fiction, whether that's nonfiction, whether it's business related, whether it's personal development related, whether it's leadership related, it doesn't matter. I am creating that thing that I want to talk to them about for the next, I'm giving myself follow-up fodder, if you will, for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Cost me $15. Amazon Prime delivers it at no additional charge. What do you have to lose? I'll bet a lot of you listening right now would pay way more than $15 to get someone to return their call. Give them the reason to talk to you. Give them 300 pages worth of reasons to talk to you. And they're more likely to pick up the call or return that email when you send it.